So this morning we're going to mount our new roof rack onto our 2019 Toyota 4runner, the TRD Off-Road Pro, or Off-Road. Basically fairly simple to get the stock rack off. You have the rack that's up on top, held down by bolts that are on the front and back, covered by a plastic cap that clicks down onto it. This plastic cap, take a screwdriver or a body tool and pop it off, and then as it pops off the front, you just twist it and pull it back off the back. There's little clips inside that. They clip into small little indents right there. Once you have that off, and you can, that exposes the bolts that are up on top. 12mm socket pulls those out. These ones are coming out pretty easy. On that, I've already got this side mostly apart, with 3 of the 4 bolts just sitting in here. Just pull those out, and that should allow that piece of that roof rack to lift up and be taken off, just like so. Thus revealing mount holes here and at the back to mount our new roof rack to. So I'm only doing this with a handheld. I'm not going to be able to photograph it all or show it to you all, but I intend to at least get the majority of it videoed so you can see how this is going to work on this truck. But there we have, up there we have our tent that I have suspended from the ceiling for now for storage with our new rack. And this rack, yeah, I'll have to show it to you afterwards. The rack I ordered a couple months ago. I've had it now for a while. I just haven't had a need to put it on yet, but we'll go over that in a short bit here. So I'm going to take. So once we have the racks out of place, the roof kind of opens up a little bit for sure. Up at the front corner here is where it is mounted, right there and there. And just in front of that you have another piece of weather stripping that would be covered partially by the footprint of the old roof rack. You just take and grip that with the back of your thumb, and it's not in there very hard at all. But you're going to want to pull this right out and lay it off into the side. Somewhere up and about here we're going to have to drill a hole in to mount this down. This rack that I got is not the no drill one. They do have one that's exactly the same, a full length rack for this truck, that is a no drill that just sets up there. It actually wasn't even available when I bought this one, so I didn't have the choice of that. I would have liked to, because that probably would have been a much quicker and easier way to go. But that's what we have for right here, for right now. And we'll be back again. So this is the roof rack that we have. It's a Prinsu, and I got it through CBI Offroad Manufacturing out of the States, out of the US. Had it shipped up here through a local company that I got to know a few years back, called Off-Road Canada. They're out of Lethbridge, Alberta. great couple of guys. That's really all it is. It's just a small shop with a father-son owning it, and one guy working for him. Off-road stuff, whatever you want, suspension, roof racks. These guys actually became a dealer, I think just so that I could get this stuff, which is awesome. I'm glad they did. So there's a few things that this rack, when I got it, was kind of a little strange. It had no instructions with it at all, and it's in complete pieces. So I wrote them a letter and I said, you know, if you guys are going to send this stuff, you need to send instructions. So they did fairly quickly after that, but I mean, I had it together. It's not hard to put together. Pretty straightforward. You have your side pieces that are separate, your front wind guard or wind screen deflector. Wind deflector is held on with a couple of hidden nuts that are in the channels, and then screwed on. So out of this package there was one non-coated piece of aluminum extrusion piece. So that's what I used in the front, which is what we were supposed to do. And then the rest of them were all a double extruded piece, except for one. It's a single, and the single one is meant to go on the back there, in order to allow you to miss your shark fin on the back of the truck. Okay, so got the roof rack up on top of the truck. I've got it somewhat sort of mounted. Mounting bolts for the back 4 feet are just in lightly. I'm just about to get it marked so that I can drill the 2 front holes. Underneath, in the package, you're going to come, is there 10 little spacers. They're all the same length. They just go underneath the roof rack to the roof, just to help hold it up away from the metal of the roof. And once it's sucked down, they'll be sucked around right tight. So I just put that on just right now, just to get these holes mounted. The hardest thing so far is making sure that this thing is actually sitting in there straight, or at least appealing to the eye. I think I've got it fairly close where I'm going to mark it. I took the wind deflector off of the front for right now and just used one of the other bars just to hold it in tight. What I'm finding is as soon as you take one of those bars out, it tends to bow or want to walk away from each other, so you're not so certain that you're going to have things in the right spot. So keep, at least in the front, middle, and back, keep something in there so that you can hold everything in. I really didn't find it all that hard to have it all together with just myself and put it up here. Just be extra careful that you're not scratching the crap out of your roof, but it does sit up there fairly nicely. Just get the bolts started just a little wee bit. It looks like I might have some issues just getting everybody to screw right in and be down tight, but I think we'll be able to get that cleaned up and squeezed around a little bit. So I'm about to do a couple of punch marks here for your front foot, and on the other side we'll drill some holes. And what they give you for that is a couple of these little nut inserts, or your jack nuts, or crush nuts, whatever you want, whatever they want to be called. But you'll drill a hole just big enough for that to go into. You set that down, put a bolt into it, and pull it up, and it'll pull up tight. This will crush out. You see where those cuts are? That'll crush out, and then make it nice and snug. Once I have that done, I'm going to silicone around all the holes just to help keep any water or moisture from coming into them. And then we'll get her sucked down and put the windshield back onto it. And with the windshield comes this, well, it didn't come with it. I actually had to buy it as a part of. It's just a rubber piece that sits onto the front edge of it, just to kind of tuck up and help keep the wind noise down from around on the front of the truck. Well, we'll drill some holes. Hopefully don't make a mess of it. We'll come back to see it tighten it down. Okay, so I have drilled some holes in the spots that I am hoping that it's going to be. Right there. Now, very, very important. When you drill that hole, you need to have the correct size bit. If you have one that's too small or too large, those inserts won't go in. So if you don't have a real good set of index bits, definitely at least go by the one that you need, which in this case is a 21/64. It's a 21/64. Nope, sorry, 11/32. Has to be an 11/32. If it's a little bit smaller than that, the insert won't go in. If it's too big, the insert will go in, but it won't catch when you try to tighten it up, and it doesn't crush down. So that's a very important one that wasn't in any of the instructions. So now I'm going to lay these rubbers back over, cut the holes for those, so that I can put my spacer back in there, and then I can push this forward, and I think I can probably button it down.